What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Season 2, Episode 16 of 10th Inning Screwballs. I'm Dante Esposito.
And I'm Sevi Esposito. Dante, 16. All right, who's your favorite 16? Give me a 16.
I don't know why, but the first name that comes to my mind is Brian Giunta. It's an obscure one. Tyler Lockett, Joe Pavelski. But I'm going to have to go with somebody that's he's been in conversation quite a bit, and that's Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence, that's the way to go. Who are the other guys you mentioned?
Brian Giunta,
Yeah.
Tyler Lockett, Joe Pavelski.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be a lame show today because this is what he's coming up with. This is going to be an awful one. We should almost stop right now and said, this is the before and after. It's after. Oh, my God. All right, 16. How do you not go with Lenny Dawson, one of the great quarterbacks of all time, the guy that in the era of great Kansas City Chiefs teams, the way they used to do their huddle is the whole team would set up like to take a team picture facing the quarterback, and he would talk to them that way. And then when the day he passed away, Patrick Mahomes had his team, his offense, do the huddle that way in his honor. I thought that was a class move. Pat Mahomes, class act. Not only is he maybe the best quarterback ever or today or whatever, but class act. But 16, it's the chairman of the board. It's Whitey Ford. How could it be anybody other than Whitey Ford? And, we think about Whitey Ford as this great Yankee pitcher and all that kind of stuff. But these are just some of the things that Whitey, and I got to put on glasses because I think if I put on glasses, I'll look much more intelligent. He holds the record for consecutive shutout innings pitched in World Series. Broke Babe Ruth's record. Let's see Ohtani do that. 10 All-Star appearances, consecutive scoreless innings. He set the record with 33 and a third consecutive scoreless innings. This is crazy stuff. All right. I love the career shutouts. 45 career shutouts. We don't have players today that pitch 45 complete games in a career. He did it as a shutout 45 times. This is one of the great pitchers of all times. Holds all sorts of crazy World Series records. Of course, the Yankees win more World Series, so he had the opportunity. I think he holds a record for the opening World Series starts with 8 or 10. Like crazy stuff. 16 is Whitey Ford, period. And it's not because I'm a Yankee fan. 16 is Whitey Ford. All right, Dante, what do we got going on today?
Yeah, we got to go in today. We're going to give our MLB playoff predictions. That's starting up. We're going to give our game of the week for football week 5. But Pete Rose just passed away, so let's discuss the legacy that he left. Is he a Hall of Famer? Should he be a Hall of Famer? Should he not be? What are your thoughts?
All right, so on the field, all right, 4,256 hits, breaks Ty Cobb's record. During that time, he had a 44-game hitting streak, which was the closest to come to Joe DiMaggio's 56. He was a 17-time All-Star, a National League MVP, part of 3 World Championships, was a player manager. His on-the-field performance, unanimous first-time Hall of Fame entry, right? Off the field, he broke the cardinal sin of all cardinal sins in sports, betting on his sport, okay? He did it as a manager, betting on games involving his own team. And those that say, well, if he didn't bet against his team, no. How about I'll hold off my best pitcher and my best starting pitcher for the days that I'm going to bet on my team, and I won't use them on other games, sacrificing the what the team can do on those other days. His off-the-field antics were worse than that even, okay? Statutory rape with a 15-year-old girl, Faye Vincent, who became the commissioner of baseball after Bart Giamatti, who was the commissioner who expelled Rose for life from baseball, was very close to Giamatti. And he was asked today, after Pete Rose's death, what he thinks about it. And he thinks that the Hall of Fame needs to hold a morals stature up. And you just can't be anybody to get in. It's more than just what you do on the field, but there's a moral element. Okay. So now there you have it, the good, the bad, the ugly, and the opinion. Okay. To me, all right, holding a moral element as part of the standards for getting into the Hall of Fame is nonsense. Okay. You've had guys that were bad guys, wife beaters, racists, okay, cheaters of all sorts, okay, that are in the Hall of Fame because they were great ball players. Okay. On top of that, you want to talk about the hypocrisy of all this. Major League Baseball is so in bed with major gambling organizations today because they're making money off it. When they thought that Pete Rose being an announcer would make them extra money, he was an analyst for Major League Baseball because it was money involved. All right. So Major League Baseball, the hypocrisy is ridiculous. So to me, if you believe in heaven and hell, should Pete Rose go to heaven? No. Should he go to the Hall of Fame? Yes. Bad guy,
Yeah,
great ball player.
I agree. It's the Baseball Hall of Fame. We talked about this a couple months ago. It's the Baseball Hall of Fame, not the Life Hall of Fame. He's not going to any Life Hall of Fame, but the Baseball Hall of Fame, how he played as a player, yes, absolutely deserves a spot in the Hall. So, yeah, and you mentioned it. All the ties to gambling with the MLB right now, no, it doesn't make any sense. Pete Rose should be a Hall of Famer for baseball. He is the hit king. Ichiro is not because Ichiro didn't have more hits than him in the MLB. And yeah, Pete Rose, he made, I believe if there wasn't the gambling, he would be a Hall of Famer. But like you said, he made stupid choices, and that's why he's not in the Hall of Fame. They hold non baseball records against him, and therefore he's not in the Hall. So yeah, that's a legacy he left.
So Ichiro, if we take his hits from the Japanese major leagues and add them together with his hits from the American major leagues, he has more hits than Pete Rose.
Right.
But we don't count that.
Yep.
But we take other leagues like the Negro League and we add those in and we
Yep.
count those.
I know.
Why is the Japanese major league not considered? We certainly can't say that they play at a lower standard because one of the two best players in baseball, some will say the best, some will say the best of all time,
Mm-hmm.
came from that league in Otani. Why are we not adding those? Why is Sadahara O's 800 home runs not the most home runs in the major leagues? Why are those not folded in? Why are we showing a prejudice and being racist against the Japanese and their league? Think about that for a while. The next time we talk about what's good for one has to be good for the other, where we're racist, where we're showing discrimination and not. Yeah, we've shown a lot of discrimination against the Negro players for a lot of years, and thank God we've gotten past that. But now we're going to show discrimination against the Asian players, and that's okay?
I said it when we had this discussion last time. It's the MLB Hall of Fame. I don't know why we're starting to blend in other leagues
I agree.
into it because now that opened up this discussion. It should have just left at the MLB Hall of Fame. We said it at least
All
five
or
times.
nothing. All or
Exactly.
nothing.
We've said it at least 5 times. The MLB Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, has been tarnished. I can't take it seriously. So to me, the MLB Hall of Fame isn't as meaningful as the others by a long shot. So
And that's a shame because, again, Cooperstown, the Major League Baseball Hall of Fame, was the gold standard
yeah,
of what Hall of Fames were. Okay? It was the gold standard. More so than football in Canton, more so than basketball, more so than hockey in Toronto. It was the gold standard of what people talk about. When people said Cooperstown, that was special stuff. We're going to take a special trip to Cooperstown. We're going
Yep.
to bring a team to the Little League team to Cooperstown. Cooperstown was the gold standard. And now look what you're saying. You don't even take it seriously anymore. How sad. How sad is that?
Yep.
Shame on Major League Baseball. And shame on Major League Baseball for holding this hard stance about gamblers. Shoeless Joe Jackson, Pete Rose, holding this hard stance. And every other freaking commercial is for DraftKings. All right? The all baseball owned networks, like Yes, they show the Yankee game, they show the rerun of the Yankee game, they show a historic Yankee game, and then the rest of the day is gambling picks shows all day through the night. But Shoeless Joe Jackson, Pete Rose, gambling out. The hypocrisy is embarrassing.
Yep.
It's embarrassing. And it breaks my heart because I love baseball. I love the history of baseball, as you know. But this is a joke. And I don't like Pete Rose. I don't like him because I don't like this. People love his style. It was a little too showboaty for me. All right? Running up the line on a walk. Come on. All right? Come on. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? It's a showboat thing. Oh, Charlie Hustle. Yeah. Charlie Hustle, by the way, he got his name Charlie Hustle from my 16. Whitey Ford named him that. Whitey Ford named Charlie Hustle. But I think he said it a little sarcastically, like, hey, Charlie Hustle over here, because he's running up the line. So it wasn't said, at that moment, it wasn't said as a compliment. It became a compliment over the years because he played hard. He played every inning hard of his life. He did. But a little too showboaty for me. And his off the field antics and his attitude, I never liked. So I never liked him. Plus, he was the enemy. He was with the Reds and so on and so forth. So, in the years the Yankees lost to the Reds in the World Series. So I never liked him. But he belongs in the freaking Hall of Fame if you're going to sell DraftKings on TV all day long on MLB Network. Shame on them. By the way, the hypocrisy is unbelievable. The Craig Carton, the radio and now TV sports personality or whatever, okay? A few years back, was so wrapped up in gambling, got in such hot water over gambling that he started to do things that were incredibly illegal. He was swindling people out of money so to pay for his gambling debts, wound up going to jail for it, came back, and the world gave him a second chance. And I believe in second chances. I'm not a big fan of Craig Carton's, but I believe in second chances. So he got a second chance. So that's great. Okay. Back on the radio, got a television show again. WFAN has a show every Saturday morning with him where he talks to people with gambling addictions. And they talk about their story and they talk about how they stay away from it and how they've recovered and the heartache and the hardships and what they put their families through and whatever else. And then the show ends. And then the next show comes on and every other commercial is about gambling because that's how WFAN makes money. Phonies. Hypocrites. Rose belongs in the Hall of Fame. What else we got? Now you pissed me off.
So let's stick with baseball. Let's talk about the playoff predictions. Which are you going to bet on the World Series champion? I heard, listening to WFAN, I heard that new users get $200 in bonus bets. So, playoff predictions. We got the wild card going on right now. I'll give my predictions first. I think Houston upsets. Sorry, I think Detroit upsets Houston. I'm big on pitching in this playoff series. Honestly, in this whole bracket, I think pitching is going to be the story this whole postseason. So give me Houston to upset. Oh my God, give me Detroit to upset Houston. Give me Kansas City to upset Baltimore. I think Baltimore's starters are honestly a little bit worse. I like Corbin Burns, but Lugo and Reagans I like better than the Baltimore staff. I don't think Baltimore is a good bullpen at all. So give me the two underdogs to pull out to face Cleveland and the Yankees. And then in the National League, I think the Mets bullpen is just a little too shaky. Yeah, the Miracle Mets, the OMG Mets had a great game against the Braves yesterday, but I just don't think their bullpen could pull through. So I'm not a big fan of the Mets this postseason, which means I kind of like San Diego. I do like San Diego a lot. I think they could be a sneaky team. Just give me San Diego to make it all the way to the World Series. Um, the Dodgers always find a way to choke. So with that said, I really like Cleveland and I like the Yankees. I think the Yankees could turn it up when it matters most. So in the ALCS, give me Cleveland and New York. I'll take New York and I'll go against San Diego. And then you got Michael King against his old team. I think the Yankees could do it. I think the biggest part about the Yankees this season is going to be Jazz. I think he'll bring enough life. I think Soto has proven to be a postseason performer. I think Judge finally turns it around this postseason. You got Cole. I think Rodon's always get that chip on his shoulder. He could turn it up when it matters most. So that's why I think the Yankees are going to win the World Series this year.
The best playoff game was played before the playoffs, and that
Yeah.
was the Mets-Braves game yesterday. Okay? For 2 innings, it was the best baseball game I've seen in 20 years. Braves leading by 3 runs in the 8th inning. The Mets come back and score 6 runs.
Yeah.
The Braves come back and score 2 runs. And the Mets come back with a Lindor home run and score 2 runs and win. The best 2 innings of baseball I've seen in 20 years. That game, Lindor's home run, is the Mets' Bucky Dent. Okay? Bucky Dent in that tiebreaker game against the Red Sox hits that home run. Okay? It wasn't a walk-off, but it was the home run to beat the Red Sox in the tiebreaker game. This home run by Lindor wasn't a walk-off, but it was the home run to beat the Braves and get themselves into the playoffs. It was their Bucky Dent game. It was their Bucky Dent moment. Incredible game. Naturally, I'm rooting against the Mets, but I tip my hat to them. Fantastic game. With that said, Houston is going to run the table in the American League again. Okay? They're going to run the table because there's no great teams, and they're a gritty team. They just know how to win in the playoffs. I'm not impressed with the Yankees this year. I'm not impressed with Cleveland this year. The Tigers are on a fairy tale run that they're beautiful to root for because they've won all these games and they got that one starting pitcher who's awesome and all that. But they're going to run into real teams, and after they get past their number one starter, they're nothing to talk about. They're going to get stopped. Kansas City has been on a slide for the last month. They just kind of squeaked in. Houston runs the table in the American League. The Mets are the scariest team in baseball. I told you that a week ago. They will get past Milwaukee. But I agree with you. Nobody gets past San Diego. San Diego gets to the World Series this year. I actually, if you remember our preseason picks, had them winning the division. And they came damn close as the season went on over the Dodgers. San Diego gets to the World Series against Houston. San Diego wins it all. San Diego's your world champion this year over Houston.
After trading Soto.
After trading Soto. That I really believe that's what's going to happen.
That'd be a crazy matchup.
Regardless, the American League is a stronger league. The playoff teams, the stronger teams are National League teams. I think the Phillies, the Padres, and the Dodgers are the 3 best teams left. Overall, I think the league is weaker. But I think those 3 are the 3 best teams, the Mets being the scariest team because they're playing with house money. They got nothing to lose. You could see it yesterday's game. You could see the way they played that game. Down 3-0. There was we're not even supposed to be here attitude. Like Steve Cohen said, they were going to trade off the big pieces and come back strong next year. So this year we're playing with house money. They're a scary team. But I do think the Padres run the table altogether.
We didn't talk about Cleveland enough. I mean, Classe is scary. He gives opposing offenses 8 innings. He literally just takes an inning. You could chalk it up. You're not scoring against him. That's big in the playoffs. I Cleveland can that ALCS that I predicted Yanks and Guardians. That could be one that's special. And if the Padres make it, Soto against his old team, King, that big trade, that would be really cool. I think that's the way it's going to shake out.
Let's see. It's
We'll
fun
see.
time.
Yeah,
October.
yeah,
October is baseball. October is baseball. I mean, I know football is up and running in its fourth or fifth week, but it's only the fourth or fifth out of 17.
yeah.
You know, I know that in basketball they're starting to make some trades, and LeBron and his son are talking about playing together, but they haven't even begun yet. And hockey's in preseason, and the ice isn't even hard yet. Okay, it's October. It's baseball time.
It's the first of the month. Brush your teeth and count up. All right. You mentioned it. Week 5 NFL game of the week. Who do you have?
Game I can't miss this week. I can't miss the Jets and the Vikings. All right, from London, no less. They sent these clowns all the way across the pond to go play at 9:30 in the morning Eastern time,
Yeah.
which completely conflicts with my golf game. This stink. This is awful. This is awful. Um, Look, the Jets just completely laid an egg last week, and the Vikings continue to look strong. Even though the game got close with them at the end, the Vikings continue to look strong. A week ago, Aaron Rodgers looked like the Aaron Rodgers of the MVP years. And then last week, he couldn't get started and he made bad throws and he was getting sacked 5 times and hit 9 times. Uh, and and Sam Darnold, the Jets cast off, is out there showing the world, yeah, it's the Jets that didn't know what was going on, not me. So I'm loving the whole Sam Darnold returns to haunt the Jets thing. Okay. Um, you can't miss this game. This is an important game. The Vikings, the Vikings can take out the Jets and just continue this ride of we may be the best team in the NFL. All right. And the Jets lose this game, and it's officially same old Jets. It becomes official. You put the stamp on it, seal the envelope, put it in a box. It's over. Okay. After 5 weeks, it's over. All right. You could sense already the internal crap that's going on with Aaron Rodgers and Robert Saleh. There's no love there. There's no love there. Okay. The guys are jumping offside every 5 seconds on the Jets offensive line. And Saleh comes out and says, well, yeah, we do a lot of the cadence thing, and maybe we got to dial that back. That's one of Rodgers' biggest weapons. And he comes out and sarcastically says, like, yeah, I guess that's one way of doing it, but the other way is hold them accountable. Don't jump offside. Right? So you could see that they're both saying stuff to the press that shows that there's no unity there. Okay, there's no unity. There's no love there. Okay, Rodgers came to this team not just to be the quarterback. He came to also be the offensive coordinator. All right. Now we could make fun of that, and Nathaniel Hackett doesn't know what he's doing because Nathaniel Hackett has the playbook in front of his face like this through the game, so nobody sees what he's saying, and he doesn't say anything. He's like this. He's got the headset on. Okay. What's he listening to? Music? What's the headset doing? He's not saying anything. He's not doing anything. But you know what? It's not unusual because the truth of the matter is when Peyton Manning went to the Broncos, when Tom Brady went to the Bucks, they became the offensive coordinators. They built the team to go around their styles, their successes. So it's not that unusual. I'm not going to kill him over that. Okay, he's just not a good coordinator. Okay, so I'm going to kill the personnel on the Jets, and I'm going to kill Aaron Rodgers for what's been going on. Important game for both of those teams. The more important for the More important for the Jets than for the Vikings. What's your
Yeah.
game? Can't miss.
Well, I'm just gonna let you know that about half the East Coast is gonna miss that Jets Vikings game because they will be sleeping. I'm gonna have to change up my sleep schedules a little
The,
bit to watch that
the,
game.
half, the half the coast that's going to miss it are 21 and younger.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna go Bills Texans. The Bills just got whooped against the Ravens, and that was a big game. The Bills, everybody was talking about as the best team in football, and then suddenly they're saying the Ravens are the best team in football, and the Bills and Josh Allen are nothing. Everybody just switches up so much.
I
The
know.
Bills are a great team. The Ravens should have beaten the Chiefs, but the toe got in the way. They had one bad loss to the Raiders. Let's relax, please. It's not that deep. The Ravens aren't the best team in football, and the Bills aren't all of a sudden trash. They're two really good teams. One team needed that win. The other one was undefeated going in. They didn't need to win that game. It's fine. Let's not overreact. The Texans, on the other hand, have not been too impressive the first 3 weeks. But last week we saw something that we haven't seen yet this year. That CJ Stroud really looking like the old CJ Stroud of his rookie season. And he comes back against the Texans, who, yeah, they're abysmal. But he comes back, 18 seconds left, throws a game-winning touchdown. There we go, Texans. That's what they were missing, that juice. Didn't want to talk about the Jags. I don't know what's going to happen over there. I mean, paying Trevor so much money, our number 16 for this episode, and they can't win a game. I don't know what you do because with guaranteed money, they've given him boatloads of guaranteed money. Is it a T-Law problem? Is it a coaching problem? I don't know. But Bills Texans is the game of the week. That is what I know.
T-Lo.
T-Law, like T-L-A-W, Lawrence. Yeah.
Is that what they call him, T-Lo?
T-Law, like law,
T-Law.
like law, like
Yeah.
law. Yeah, yeah.
So
Oh boy.
we're back to can't have names anymore. Have the initials. Okay. All right, D. What's up next?
I think that's it.
Thank God. Thank God. This was a punishing episode with you. I'm telling you, killing me. All right. That brings us to the part of the show we call Yesterday, Today, Before, and After. When Dante talks about something that's happening today that's got like initials, and I'll talk about something that's on my mind that happened in time gone by. Dante, take it away.
Well, you want to talk about initials? I'll give you the GOTC.
Oh, Jesus.
The game of the century, Alabama.
Oh, another goats.
Georgia.
More goats. More recency bias. The go now this is the greatest game of all time because it happened now. Because it happened this week. If it happened 2 weeks ago, it couldn't be the greatest game of all time. It had happened now. Yeah, all right. Greatest of all time. It's the greatest of all time. The greatest. All right, see this dog, the greatest dog of all time. The greatest of all time. See, you see her ass there. She's sticking her butt at you because she thinks this is so ridiculous. The greatest game of the century, of 100 years. Yeah, because you were there 100 years ago to know those games weren't as good. That's it, Jack. Showing your butt. That's it. The greatest of the century. Come on, let's hear it.
All right, number 4 ranked Bama. Number 4 ranked Bama playing 2 ranked Georgia in Alabama. Bama comes out up 30-7 at halftime at home. Georgia comes all the way back in the second half with 3 minutes to go. Their quarterback, Carson Beck, was not having a good game at all, dialed up a 65-yard pass play to take the lead and stun Bama. The crowd silent. The very next play for Alabama, Jalen Milroe responds with a 75-yard touchdown to retake the lead. Just an absolute back and forth, just thriller, that game of the century, if you will. Jalen Milroe finished with 374 passing yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. Carson Beck, who was really asleep for the first half, finished with 439 yards in the air, 3 picks, 3 tutties. The game ended with Carson Beck throwing a pick in the end zone. A lot of people want to talk about Carson Beck as the best quarterback in this draft class.
Seebeck.
I'm not gonna ride the hype of Carson Beck. I don't think Georgia is really all that. I think they have the power to be high powered, but I don't think they're consistently the best team in college football. I don't think Carson Beck is the best quarterback coming out of this draft class. We just got to look back a couple weeks ago. Kentucky gave them a hard time, and Kentucky did beat Ole Miss this week, a big upset. But if you're truly a top 3 team in the country, you don't have scares against unranked teams. So I don't think Georgia's all that. I think Bama had the thrill of we're at home playing the number 2 team in the country. Then they took their foot off the gas a little bit because they were up 27 points or something like that. So yeah, right now Bama's ranked 2, Georgia slid down to 5. I think that's accurate, and I don't think Carson Beck is a quarterback that we make him out to be.
Who's ranked 1 now?
Texas.
Texas, that's right. Okay. I have to say, I tease you about, you calling it the game of the century and all. But honestly, I can't remember a fourth quarter that was any more exciting than that.
No.
Crazy exciting.
I mean, I didn't have a team in that game, and I'm jumping up and down like it's my team, man. It was crazy.
Same here. I couldn't believe it. I mean, my thumbs were hurting from texting you through this thing because it was so exciting. Yeah. I remember we getting so excited by this. It was wild.
And I had to mute your text because you're a minute before me.
I know. Much like yesterday's Met game, with those 2 innings. We were clicking away like crazy because it was wildness, and I only wish you were in the same room because it's fun to share that with you. But we could do it now. All right. Yesterday's Met game had me thinking about rivalries. Okay, so the Mets and the Braves are arch rivals, and today you said rivalries don't exist anymore. Those were your words. We agree on some stuff. We disagree on some stuff. I've never agreed with you more than that. When you said that, I sat back in my seat and I was like, crap, he's right. Rivalries don't exist anymore. When that game was over, first, when they won the first game, the Mets, they're all jumping up and down on the mound. And all I could think of is they're jumping up and down with Edwin Diaz. The last time he jumped up and down was the World Baseball Classic. And he missed a year because he destroyed his leg because he thought he was a human pogo stick and broke his leg or whatever happened to his leg. All right. Here, these idiots are going doing it again. They're bouncing up and down with him. What are you thinking? Okay, fine. They play the second game now. And the way that the playoffs work is both teams, the Braves and the Mets, needed to win 1 game each to get into the playoffs. Either one just needed 1 game. So in the second game, the Braves won. So now both teams make the playoffs. And here, these arch rivals, the Mets have been eliminated by the Braves year after year in that last week, right? It's cursed. Here, these arch rivals are sharing champagne on the field with each other, hugging each other, sharing jerseys. You take mine, I'll take yours. I'll give you some. Okay? Hugs. Give me a hug. Give me some love. Yeah, good luck in the playoffs. I hope we see you. This is a rivalry. Do you know what the Yankees and Red Sox would have done at the end of one of those games if they were allowed to be on the field with nobody monitoring them? They would have killed each other. Okay? Those were rivalries. Those were hated situations. Hate. We met Tanyan Sturtz at some sort of an autograph signing thing, and I asked him about that, and all his smiles went away while he was signing. He looked up, and he says, we hate them till today. We'll always hate them. They hate. Okay. When Don Zimmer ran at Pedro Martinez, I got tossed aside, and they were fighting. I can't tell you how many fights they had over the years. And then the hatred started again with the Yankees and the Kansas City Royals. And you know what? When we were at the All-Star game this year, we were interviewing some fans, and we interviewed a Kansas City dad. And when you asked him which team he hates the most, he said the Yankees. I said, why? He goes, well, I grew up for those years. Those were the enemies. And to this day, George Brett talks about how he hates the Yankees. That's a rivalry. A rivalry only happens through passion, there's got to be hate. It can't be a real rivalry if there's no hate. Fans that hate a team are true fans. All right? When I root for all the New York teams. What the hell? You can't root for all the New York teams. You either root for the Yankees or you root for the Mets. You hate the other one. No, I live in New York. I live in all New York teams. So the Mets are in it. I'll root for the Mets. No. My mother last week was sitting here. I picked her. She's 94 years old. I picked her up for dinner. Bring her here. She says, I like the Mets. I said, how are you getting home? I'll make her take a cab. Don't tell me you like the Mets. No. Rivalries have to have hate. Otherwise, they're not real rivalries. And sadly, you said it. Rivalries don't exist anymore.
They don't.
Let's all hug each other. I'll share champagne. We'll drink out of the same cup. They should pass diseases to each other. Not they tie it up. I'm pissed off now.
Oh, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Season 2, Episode 16 of 10th Inning Screwballs.
You like my glasses?
You look distinguished.
Distinguished.
You guys know where to find us. The full episodes on YouTube and Spotify, short clips on TikTok and Instagram. And if you haven't, join the chat page. Join up. From Dante Esposito.
And Sevi Esposito.
Have a great week.
Go get your shine box. Ciao.